Yo, it's Guido. Welcome back to Tactics Talk. This episode of World of Tanks. We have a new submitter, G. Wyatt, GW from the Clan Van, and his T-3485M Tier 6 Premium Medium Russian tank. This is a great medium tank. Of all the T-3485 variants, probably the best one. Slightly worse gun, but the best DPM. A ridiculous amount of DPM. So G. Wyatt sent this to me, or GW did, and he has spawned into the south of mines. And he asked me to take a look at it, sent me a couple notes about things he noticed. We're going to talk about this because this is a good one for a recent question, again, that Night Dog brought up. And I'm glad he brought it up because it's made me think about it quite a bit. And the question had to do with how much do we go to a position to fight and how much do we pay attention to the fight and fight from the position we are in. So GW says, hey, I looked at this and I said I wanted to go to the 1-2 line so that I could fight same tier tanks. I figured my tier 7s would go the 8-9 line. And I thought, well, that's interesting because I would have figured most people would try to get to the middle and get the hill with only one artillery. So let's see what he does with his medium tank, his T-3485. And he may very well be right that some of the 7s go 8-9, but the critical terrain here on this map is the hill. Now, GW, the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is get the I go somewhere to fight same tier tanks completely out of your mind. It is at best a secondary consideration, and it's probably more like tertiary or whatever the number for 4 is, or whatever the word is for fourth. So we're going to go over here, but hey, we've decided to fight on the 1-2 line. So how do we do this? How do we fight on the 1-2 line? Well, let's talk about it because I'm going to pause it right here. The plan was to go from cap over to the 1-2 line so you could fight same tier tanks. And that's the idea of I go to a position to fight. I've made my decision. But the enemy gets a vote. And when the enemy does something dopey, i.e. M4A3E2 JADO, and drives right up the middle, you got to take advantage of it. Now, I'm not saying stop. I think you did the exact right thing here. Fire on the move. Just go. Hopefully he misses. Well, he didn't. No big deal. 84 hit points. But instead of slamming on the brakes and backing up and giving him another shot immediately, because you're inside his reload, you actually just go past and we drive over here, and now we sort of ignore a guy that's in the middle so that we can glom on to potentially a shot on this T-3485. This is critically important if you're going to get better at this game. That M4A3E2 is completely overextended. He's out in the open and he is nothing but meat for you to absolutely wreck. Those are hit points, those are experience. That's a gun taken out of the game almost immediately, especially with your TDs backing you up over there. So this was a big error. You need to jump all over that possibility right there. He has just driven into your position and given you all his experience and hit points for maybe the return of some... Is he shooting HE? Goodness gracious, he's shooting HE for... I mean, come on. You're going to win this by miles. But you choose to go over here, and I thought that was a big error. But we know that the 3045 is there. That's a good SA. At least you know that dude's there. We're going to kind of creep out, and we take a hit, and we don't see him, and we back up. I think that's wise. You don't want to sit there and let him shoot you. And I'd definitely be, even when I was watching the first time, I was trying to move my head over to the right and go get the M4, man, kill him. So we see him. Okay, good. We're going to come out here, and we back out. And I think that's, again, the wrong idea. On that shot, when he gave you more of his side, when he shifted, I'd have shifted my aim over to his side. You're going to have a hard time pinning the front of that thing. He's an E2 variant with pretty good armor. And I certainly would not have backed out with my big rear end sticking out. I would have spun around and brought the front of the tank out. As a matter of fact, I would have crossed over to this rock and used this rock right here to side scrape out and then just take this dude down. Also, that's why you're carrying number 2. When you run into a guy that's got good armor and you're trying to poke through things like an E2's front armor, just dab 2, give him a couple hits. And again, it's inexplicable to me that you would come off the M4 and go back over to the 3485. But let's see how you handle that. You come over here, kind of peeking out, and we take a shot. All right, so that whole series, you got to work on that. When you scoot forward and stop, and then scoot forward and stop, and you don't see anything, they see the front of your tank. So if I scoot forward and give them the front of my tank and stop, and I'm not seeing anything, I got to come out. I've got to commit enough that I get my view slit, my viewport on the top of the turret out around there so I can see what's going on. If I go forward and stop, then I may get shot on the track. Now, you may be trying to bait a shot, but if you're going to do that, go forward and back out. Don't just go forward and stop, go forward and stop, go forward and stop, because you can easily stick enough of your tank out there for them to shoot you and you never actually even see him. Then when you try to return the shot, he's already fired. And this happens a lot on this match. So what I want you to think about is when the enemy fires, I have an opportunity at that point. I am inside his reload. I'm reloaded, he's fired. I can now do almost whatever I want to get a shot. You have to be careful he's got a friends. You don't want to jump out and say, okay, I get a free shot on you when he's got 3 buddies sitting next to him and you eat 3 shots for your 1. That's not what I'm saying. But in this case, it appears to be reasonable that there's just him at this moment and you could have gone in there. And what we do is we sort of accept this kind of crummy shot. So I would have zoomed as in driven my tank out much further and taken that nice shot. That guy's gone, right? If you take that opportunity and get out there and shoot him, he's gone. As a matter of fact, you let him get away because now he's at a 111. You could trade a hit for taking him out at that point. And then we switch back over to the E2 right here. And I like that you're thinking about both guys, trying to take both of them on. But the sequence as far as the priority I thought was way off. You're moving back and forth between them, but goodness gracious, finish one of these dudes. You had a great opportunity to do that. And I'd be after that E2 immediately. At one point in your description to me, you mentioned that you needed to be careful because the enemy artillery was, if he was paying attention, was going to be able to hit you. Now, realize he's been gone for a while. So very permissive. And you do some things here that makes me think you think the artillery is still around with a lot of rocking back and forth and things like that. If you did notice it, then that's good on you. Good deal. But I'm just throwing that out because I wasn't sure exactly when you said, well, later on you're going to be rocking behind a rock, and I'm not sure exactly why we're doing it. We'll talk about it when we get there. If it's because you thought artillery was there, realize he's been gone for a very long time, and that really opens up things you can do at this point. Also, note that your loader's dead. I would have absolutely fixed him. So we come out here and we finally find this guy. And again, I would not be backing up while I'm doing this. I'd have turned my front armor. I'd have killed him long ago. You should have been over there and killed that 3045 pretty immediately. Nice sequence on the Chiri, but again, this one, again, a little bit strange to me because all you really had to do is back up a little bit more, right? And you had a clear shot on him, but you accept this kind of very low PK shot with just a little edge of him showing there. So do a little bit of maneuver in your local area to increase the quality of your shot right there. So we get a couple shots. We're up to 453. We've got 3 kills. Good deal. Now we're kind of just rocking back and forth, and I'm left here. And you mentioned it in your notes. You said, well, I wasn't really sure what to do in a couple cases. Well, I'm sure what to do. Go kill this 3045. Good news is you find another dude driving right up the middle. There's another example. You are completely inside his reload. Right? You fired. You moved. He fired. You could have easily backed out, zoomed completely in, smacked him one, and been able to drive away before he ever got a shot, especially if you stop going out sideways to everything right there, because you're really going to have a harder time covering up. Again, this is a guy that needs to die. There we go. So nice job. He's not paying attention to you, so that's exactly what you should do to him. And now you are below this other 3045M in hit points. You do need to be careful here. It would be nice to either get a free shot on him or have somebody take a chunk out of this guy before you really have to engage. Now, the Artie goes in. So that's a good sign. Maybe he took a piece off of him. Realize when Artie goes in, if he got hit, he got a stun. So at least for a few moments, depending on how much stun, he's going to have a worse shot. And we kind of do this inchworm thing forward. And the good news is we find him running. Nice little shot into his back, and then we back out. And I'm left to wonder why. He just bailed. All right? So let's talk about, earlier you said you wanted to go to the spot and fight. You did that. You reacted to what the enemy was doing. They fed you some hit points. I talked about how you could have reacted better to those. But now, the only guy that's in front of you has run off. The hill is taken. Look in your corner of the world. There's nothing going on here. When that 3485 ran away, that is map control. It's called map control, and you want to gobble it up. It tastes good, and it wins great. All right, so head through the north here. At least get up to here and maybe start working up to this rock, which is a good spot to fight from. And start looking if you can't figure out a way to grab up some of this map control, which then puts vision on this general area of the map. And guess what? You've got some TDs hanging out right here. You eventually get to it, but this is where your thought process needs to speed up if you want to turn that corner from beginner to intermediate / good player. Your poor loader is screaming out, "Heal me." I don't know if you're trying to save money or you just didn't notice, but that's one of those things you got to try to pay attention to. I notice it because when my reload changes significantly, I know the timing of my reloads on my tanks pretty well. And when it's not working out, if for some reason I haven't noticed my loader dead, that's usually the thing that clues me in. So we're going to come in up here. We have a pretty good idea that there's two TDs right there. Be careful about approaching with too much of your tank exposed. I think it would have been slightly right to use this rock, because if that 3485M, I think it is, had kind of turned around and hung out right here, you may have had some shots on you. But we're going to come up, we're going to get behind this rock, and we actually find this Challenger, which is nice. Looks like the guy up on the top. I would have shot right in there, but it didn't matter because all of a sudden the Su-100Y says hello, and you take a shot at him. One thing I would do here when guys are backing up and I know they're getting to cover, I do a little bit of this while I'm reloading and go, all right, there's the cover he's getting behind. I won't see him, right? See how he's not lit up? So I'll just kind of put my shot right there, and I'm just waiting for him to see if I can get reloaded. You've got it. Oh, right there. Oh. And I was actually showing you my cursor, but see how I was already there? I investigated it, and I went, all right, that's the last possible shot. And if I reload before he gets around, boom, I take that shot. And we do a little blind in there, hoping we might hit somebody. This is part of the rocking back and forth thing. I'm not really sure what's going on here. One of the problems with this is fine if there's artillery or maybe somebody's shooting at you, that kind of thing. But just randomly rocking back and forth, what are you doing here? Well, you're covered by the bush. That's nice. What you're actually doing is you're sticking your rear end out from behind this rock. And if somebody comes up here, they're going to see you before you see them. So just get yourself tucked up against this rock if you're thinking about what you want to do next, which is what you said in your notes, and just hang out for a few potatoes. Or go take a look, because really what you needed to do is once you took those shots and weren't spotted, I'd have driven right into this bush, not through it, or into it necessarily, but right up to it, and said, hey, is there anybody hanging out down here? Can I see anybody crossing? Can I maybe get a light on somebody being foolish and moving around a bit? There's cover up here, but it's not great cover, and a lot of times a TD's back end or something will be sticking out, and you'll find those dudes up there. But as it is, this is basically a kind of a do-nothing back and forth right here for no real reason. So we're going to rock here for a bit. Team's doing okay. Oh, there we go. Found that guy. And I don't know if that was you. I guess it was. Yeah, it probably was you. The top of your vision slit was just high enough that it picked that guy up. And that's what I'm talking about if you got into that bush. And of course you get lit. Now be very careful here. You're just sort of randomly rocking back and forth. The problem is you're driving out because there's at least a nashorn up there, and they're nasty. If he spins around and catches you moving back out, let's see if you do. And you don't quite, so good. You stopped it. It looked like you were trying to get a shot on the Challenger right there. He's behind all those rocks. There's no way you're ever going to hit him right there. Unless he comes well around that corner. He's actually not only is he behind the rocks right there in front of you, he's up around the top of the hill, the north part of the hill. So you see what I'm talking about there? That you're trying to look through all this. I mean, that's just not going to happen. There's no V's right there. There's one. If he's right up against this ridge right here, there actually is some shots here, but he's on the other side and down low. That's just map knowledge right there. But you investigated it, so I don't, that's good. Maybe you got a pixel in there you can take a shot at. So there you have it. So again, kind of rocking back and forth, and oh, look at that. Now this took a long time for you to notice. You were really glommed on and enamored of that Challenger there, and finally you noticed this guy. And then I feel like you just kind of misplayed this a little bit. I would have gone straight forward. Again, be careful. You're about to put your rear end out there and let him see you. He probably knows you're there because you got lit. And that's why he's coming up, seeing if he can't get rid of you. I'd have gone right to this bush as soon as he got lit and see if you get a shot on this dude. Already goes in. That's a good thing. Maybe it stunned him. Come out. There we go. It did stun him, but he's about undone. And take that nice shot. There you go. Back out, back out. All right. Now, this is critically important. There's only 3 of them. You have hit points. Right now, you can take 2 hits. This is something you've got to start to understand in this game. Is that, of course, the nashorn's pretty bad, all right, pretty nasty, so I would be careful here. I would not be going forward anymore, because if he spins around and shoots you, you're already done. But this dude's trying to approach. I'd have spun around and come around at this guy from the other side, from the left side of this rock. Take a nice aimed shot and kill him, and even if he shot me back, it wouldn't matter, because I'd have won that engagement. He's a one-shot to me. It's almost impossible to roll that low. Somebody takes a shot and misses it. Artie comes in, And really, you're going to the place where the Nashorn can get you. And frankly, I'm blown away he didn't shoot you. He must have been so busy seeing all these other guys that he just didn't pay attention. But I expected you to blow up right there, or at least take a hit. So we're going to go forward, and then we zoom in, and then we're just zoomed in, not paying attention, and we come around this way, and that's a bummer. He bounced it. You know, the armor on these things is actually not too bad. He gets a shot on you, but guess what? Look at your hit points. You still can take another hit. I'd have gone right at him, man. Just drive right at him. And if you're worried about the armor, then dab 2. Just drive straight at him. He's backing up. He'll never get away. Come around that corner and just nuke that guy and take him down. We sort of sit here thinking about it, and then the M44 takes the guy down. The Nashorn, we find him, and he's actually not paying attention. So like I said, he must have been busy shooting other people. We drop one on that dude, and the game is over. So 6 kills, nice job, 1,225 damage, 1,190 assists, and that poor loader doesn't get any experience. That's the other reason why you should heal guys, is so they get their experience. Nice game overall, man. Thanks for sending that in. I think there's a lot of good stuff to learn there. And I can see the thought processes are being developed. You're starting to get there, but the speed at which they're being made probably needs to be increased. And I think for you, the biggest thing you need to concentrate on right now is sealing the deal on near deads, guys that you can take out. Start thinking about how you can get rid of guns and get rid of tanks, as opposed to simply reacting to everything and just looking for shots here and there. Look at the situation and go, that E4, I can take him out. And then that near-dead T-30-45, I can take him out. Concentrate on doing that. Remove those guns from the game. Because remember, a 1-hit-point guy can shoot you. A 0-hit-point guy cannot shoot you. And I'm not saying sell out. You don't sell out just to take a gun out, but you do prioritize what dude you need to be shooting. And a couple times I thought there was some serious misprioritization right there. But the building blocks are definitely there for you. Thanks for sending that in. I do appreciate it. Everybody else, I hope you learned something. If you like what you saw, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and we will see you.